Hello people, welcome back to the channel. We are back playing Pocket Build. In the last video we focused on this little property here, sort of like a farm property again, which is attached to obviously this part of the island over here on the top right, which is more farmland. If this looks different to what I did actually built in the last video, it's because the app crashed and I lost what I had previously built. So I rebuilt that. It does look different, as I say, but it's rebuilt, it's there, the property's there. It's actually, I think it looks quite better. I found these little things, these little plant overhead sort of things. I've even put plants underneath it, a few pot plants out the back and a few plants by the front door, which I think actually looks quite nice. I think it's actually probably one of my better properties yet. But if we scroll this way past all that farmland, we see more vast Greenland here, which actually doesn't have anything in the middle just yet. But if we keep scrolling further along, it kind of looks like a muddy sand sort of area. So what I actually want to do and start doing, it's not going to be finished in this video, that's for sure. But what I want to start doing, start focusing on in the next few videos, is this part of the island. Because what I want to do is, as I'm already on the housing, I'm on the housing now. You can get fantasy housing, you can get modern housing, you get tents, but you also get western. And this is what I want to start doing to the island, is to start building a sort of westerny sort of area. So you've got everything from covers, just cover to shed, towers, water towers, windmills. There are churches as well. We have got a church on the other part of the island, so that is definitely something that we will move to this island. You've got housing. There is only one type of house at the moment, but you've also got a saloon as well. So what I want to do, the housing does cost, so if you don't like where you put something, move it, don't destroy it, because it is costing you some of the resources. So what I want to do, if I just pop one down there, this is the house we have at the moment. They aren't the best looking houses, but I'm sure there will be more updates, and they will add in some more types of housing. We hope. I say that, but we hope. So what I want to do, I don't really know where to start. It's a much bigger area of land than I actually thought. But what I want to do, I think I might just start. I don't know whether to start in the centre of things. I'm going to start in this corner down here. I'm going to pop a few houses in here. But remember, what we need to do is actually put paths in. But I'm going to put a few bits of housing in. Just over here, so we've got some civilization here in the housing. Because sometimes you don't really even need paths. Because if you look at like the old western films and stuff, they're just dirt tracks, isn't it? It's just dirt. You have the housing, but the paths are just where the house is on. So what we'll do, pop another couple of ones in here. Remember, don't destroy the houses you build, because they are costing you resources. So yeah, we've got some houses over in the little corner there. I think what we will do is also put a church in while we're here. The church, I think, will go in this corner, like so. I believe the front door is facing inwards. Yep, there we go. Church over there. We've got a water tower. If you go back to the last Western films, you saw they always have that massive water tower, which always gets destroyed or blown up in some way. But we will get a couple of water towers. I think the water towers need to go nearer to the housing. But I also, what I'm thinking is having the water towers in somewhere. There we go. Let's pop. I'm going to put more. Oh, there you go. The phone's going funny again. I'm going to put more than one water tower in. Let's put a few in, like so. Over there. And I think what I will also do drag this all the way over here. Pop another couple of water towers in this end here. Remember, where I put stuff is not always where it's going to stay. You know me, I like just to chuck things in and then come back and mix it up a bit later. But what I want to do is now put a saloon, I think that's how you say that, in, because we need some sort of area. Right, those water towers are going out the back of the saloon, so there we go. Let's pop that there. This way a bit away from me. But what have I done? Have I done something there? No, it's just the shadows. What you've probably already noticed as well, I haven't put any cliff edges in. I want to put cliff edges in because it kind of just, like, if you go back to this, it kind of just rounds off the edge of the land. But I don't know, it kind of feels like for some reason my head is telling me not to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna expand this part of the island and have it so big that I don't really want to put the cliff edges in, because if I put the cliff edges in now and want to expand, I may have to go back and delete it. So I think for now I'm going to leave it, and then when I come back to develop this part of the island, then put cliff edges in. But yeah, there we go. We've got some housing in there. It looks very, very bare at the moment. You've got the water towers, the saloon, and the church. Let's go to trees. If I scroll all this way to trees, is it on the trees one? I'm not sure if it is now. No, it's not. I saw it. It's on this tab somewhere. Here we go. There we go. Cactuses. You always find those in the desert, so they's definitely got to go in. We've got many types. This is your typical type of looking cactus right here, isn't it? Right. I think we should put a few of those in at some point. Anything else you can put? Oh, these bits as well on the end, right on the end there. It's sort of like a looking, funny looking dead plant. We've also got the rocks. We need to put in medium rocks, huge rocks, special rocks. We won't put those in just yet. How big are these rocks? These are pretty big damn rocks right here. That is definitely something we can put in, so it kind of separates the two parts of the island. Alright, let's put a few of these in. I'm going to put these over the edge, because I might just come in and fill that gap. You see there's a gap between the two islands, because I did want to keep it separate, but I think that may, if we don't separate it by a bridge, I will just attach the rocks themselves. Right, there's some rocks in there, because I like what I like about them as well. You can overlay them like so. They don't have to be fixed, so it kind of gives it a better look. Like that, you can put them right up close together. Quite like that actually. I really do like that. Let's have a look. Let's twist around this way. What does that look like? So yeah, what I probably will do is just fill in that gap in with the same colour, the brown, the sand looking colour there. Yeah, there you go. So look, that itself is a way onto the island. Right, there we go. Got some rocks in there. Let's have a look at the paths. Just so you know, when I'm doing this, I'm actually doing this off the top of my head. I know what I want, but it is a matter of having a look and recording it at the same time. I don't 100% know what I'm actually going to build until I build it. What type of bridges have we got? Yeah, see, they don't really have the sort of bridge we want. Do you know what a good thing they could put into this? is a train line. That would be pretty damn awesome. A train. You can build a train track, and then you have put a train on it, and it's just constantly going around, stops at stations, takes people off, drops them off, picks them up. That'd be a pretty good idea. So if the Pocket Build developers are watching this, there you go. You heard it here first. Alright, you heard it here first. Right, pathways. The typical pathway I normally use is the dirt path on the very first one on this here, right on the left hand side. But I'm not going to want to do that in this part of the island. What we got? We got stone, modern, and then looking golden brick one. It's just crashed again. So guys, the app did again crash on me. It's been doing it recently quite a lot. I don't know what's wrong with it, but when it does crash, you lose pretty much everything you've built since you open the app. So you open the app, build a load of stuff, it crashes, you will lose everything. So I've just gone back, I've just rebuilt what I could from memory. But yeah, this is it at the moment. I've put the load of rock in. I think the rock actually looks really good. I think there are quite a few here for such a small part of the island, but remember, we will be expanding, so they won't look so cramped. But at the moment, we have the saloon with a few water towers at the back. We've got the church by itself, and then we've got a few houses just over to the left here. But if I go back in to the western houses, we do have windmills as well, which I do want to put. They're going to be obviously over this way, part of the island, away from the rocks, because if they're right next to the rocks, you're not going to get any breeze, any wind at all. So we're going to put a few across the back here. Remember, where I put stuff is not necessarily where it's going to stay. Do remember while you are building this sort of stuff, it is costing, the majority of it is costing you, so we don't want to don't want to destroy stuff. If you don't want it where it is, move it somewhere else and come back to it later, because you do want to try and keep it as much as you can. Right, so we've got a little cover here as well. Let's try and have a quick look. Could try and put this outside the church or something like that. That looks alright. Sort of matches the church as well, actually. But what I want to do with this church, actually, I think this church would be a good place to start, is fence it off. The type of fencing we can use, I'm not 100% sure just yet. Let's have a quick look. This is probably the sort of fencing you would find, I think, in this sort of era. Right, if I start off behind, let's just hope the app doesn't crash on me while we're building. Does that look alright? How does that look? Oh, I think it looks alright, actually. Into the rock right there. So yeah, that's kind of the rock kind of replaces the fence in there, just on the left hand side. Again, I mentioned about pathway. I used the very first one, but that's something I definitely don't want to use because it does have a grass edge into it. The only one, if I want to use paths, the only one I can really use, if I get really close to my phone, around, let's have a look at this. What does this look like? So yeah, that again, that looks odd as well. What's this one? What's this? Is that the same one? What's this one? They both look exactly the same to me. I don't know if there is a path we can really use. Yeah, no, it just looks odd. Let's scrap the idea of putting paths in just yet. Remember, this is a church, so what we need to do, if I can find something, is it in the special props? No, flags, modern props. never remember what anything is. They're gravestones, right? The sort of gravestones we want. Where are they? What ones do we want? So all this stuff will come in handy as well for this time period. Signs as well. Signs are always good. Sticking signs in like that, that's always a good thing. It's kind of direction of where you're going. If I put that in, that will remind me to put more up. Right. Scroll back this way. The sort of gravestones we want are these sort of things here. A few of these I think we can put in this side. Right, there we go, we've got ourselves a little church, a few little, I want to put a few more of those ones in, the stick graves. They go back a few years, these ones. Let's put one more line in here. Not good. Not good at all. It's not a nice place to build, but it's built because it does give that the island a bit of character, I think. Right, so yeah, we've got ourselves a little church over there. Like how I always want to build paths first now, you know, that's how I've taken my approach to the building, is building the paths and building up around. But this is going to prove tricky because we're not actually going to have any paths. So it is going to prove a little tricky trying to build this part of the island. But we do have the saloon over here as well, which I don't want to go rushing into building. I'm going to have to sit back and take a real look and really think about how I'm going to build that, because really there isn't, as far as I'm aware, there's not really, what should we say, the Western type housing buildings and stuff around at the moment, so there's not really much we can really use for to build that. So a quick little peek, see if we can find anything. Cabin forts. There really isn't. There's side attachments. Nothing really going to be underwater. Actually, no, saying that, bring out the water, because you always find these outside of why it's gone into the rock. Outside the saloon for when people put their horses out, tie their horses up, don't they? A couple of those over there. And what else we can do is the props, not the lighting. See, I still don't know where anything is. We will find it, we will find it. Pillars, modern props, these ones. That side there like that. These things always come in handy. So these are backs and barrels. They're moonshine. Barrels of moonshine at the back. Bits at the back there. So even like little details like that, that always looks good. There we go, people. That is the beginning of the Western era sort of part of the island. Very different to the rest of the island, and I'm really hoping that more props and that are added, that type of props are added to the game, so we can build on this area of the island. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, and of course, if you do want to see more gameplay, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll speak to you and you'll see me in another